Welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, we'll be doing the viral cat eye vampire nails, but with polygel, of course. I'll be showing you how to create this with just 2 of our gel polishes, step by step, so stay tuned and I hope you enjoy. Before we get started, just a quick reminder that the products I'm using today are from my brand. You can shop at doperthanyournails.com. Link is in the description, and be sure to use code YouTube to save 10% at checkout. And second quick reminder, our new Whimsy Halloween gel polish collection, which is our Halloween/fall launch, is also available now. This launched in early September. We have individual shades and full collections available. It includes 4 cat eye shades and 4 solid shades. I have a separate full-length, in-depth video on this as well, unboxing the whole collection, swatching everything in depth, talking more about the formulas, and it's the core line video that I did, so the video also includes a tutorial on that. Code YouTube also works for this collection as well. Any individual shades, any products on our site really. And the solid shades are all a 1-coat coverage. The formula is really amazing, so I hope you will get to check it out. The winter launch is just around the corner as well, so look out for that sometime in November. So let's get into these cat eye vampire nails. This is going to be a polygel set, so I am starting with my nail prep. I'm taking my cuticle pusher, I'm pushing back the cuticles very gently. There are lots of other more in-depth polygel tutorials on my page as well, but basically you just want to take your time with your prep. I'm also using a 240 grit sanding band over the natural nail. I feel like this step definitely really helps with retention, and then young nail swipe to dehydrate and cleanse. This helps get rid of any oils or anything on the nail plate, and you'll know your prep is good if you start to see kind of this cloudy effect after you use the dehydrator. Basically, the dryness helps the polygel and nail products in general stick to your nails better. Now we are getting our nail tips ready. As you all know, I love to use Young Nails brush on glue, and these are the Vivace stiletto nail tips, which I always use for my long almond/stiletto sets. If you have crooked fingers, just align from the knuckle if you want the nail tip to align straight versus like going crooked with the nail, if that makes sense. Once I've got my nail tips glued on, I am taking that 240 grit sanding band and using it over the nail tip, just making sure that I am not thinning out the nail tip too much because it is plastic, so very easy to thin out if you do too much. We're just gonna make sure we make the sides and where the nail tip meets the natural nail flush as well. Now we are just shaping the nail tips. So with an almond shape, you want to just file under the nail tip to get that round shape, and then you can round out the edges as needed, as I'm doing here. And of course, we'll fix this more as we get into the shaping. But basically, for any sort of round shape, whether it's more of like a short almond or anything, filing under the free edge helps round out the free edge. And then you can just file around the edges to make it more pointy or whatever you'd like. After dusting with some alcohol, I am taking Young Nails Protein Bond and using this as my primer on the natural nail. If you are struggling with lifting, you can try doubling up on your primer, but you want to make sure to use thin layers. And of course, a gel base coat. This is a very important step for polygel, so you want to apply a full layer. I apply it to the full nail and nail tip. And you fully cure in your lamp for 60 seconds and do not remove the sticky layer. The sticky layer serves as an anchor for the polygel to stick to. Now we're getting our slip solution ready. This helps mold your polygel so that it's not getting all sticky and stuck to your brush. So I put that into a dappen dish. Now I'm getting my polygel brush ready, which is the medium polygel brush from my brand as well. You can shop this on our website. This is the brush I use for all of my polygel applications. So I'm just showing you here how much liquid that you should use and not use. So you don't want to dip your brush in and just use the liquid like that. That would be way too much. You also don't want to drain all of the liquid out of your brush. So what I usually do is dip it in there and then drain a little bit out and just keep my brush damp basically. And for our polygel choices today, we have 4 neutral polygels in our storefront as well. So we have Desert Rose, we have Pink Essence, Wispy Peach, and Coquette Blush. And for this set, we are going to be using Desert Rose. Here are all 4 colors again. Desert Rose is the one on the far left, which is my personal favorite. So we're just going to be doing the 1 bead method actually today, just because I don't show it that often. So I'll usually put a pretty generous bead where the natural nail meets the nail tip. And it's kind of up to you how you want to start working the product onto the nail, but I usually flatten it a little bit at the center and then I start working on the cuticle area. I find that a little bit easier with almond/stiletto nails, just kind of get the cuticle area done. And then we're just gonna drag out the rest of the product pretty much. I'm using light tapping and dragging motions, and I'm basically working to make the product fit the nail tip that is my guide. I'm constantly swiping those sidewalls as well to make sure any excess product is removed. This is pretty much how the application is looking. If you wanted to add a little bit more, if you feel like it's a little bit sheer at the free edge, you could do that. But I would definitely kind of analyze where you need a little bit more coverage versus less. Another thing is cleaning your brush throughout as needed. I was just showing that it's completely dry there once put in the lamp. You can clean out your slip solution as needed, kind of refresh that and clean out your brush to make sure there's no gel getting stuck into there. But anyways, we are starting on the next nail. Again, I'm placing the product where the natural nail meets the nail tip, working on the cuticle area, using the corners of my brush and then dragging the rest out. This video is not a super long one, but like I said, I have more like 20-30 minute videos on polygel application that you can check out on my page. So we are jumping into shaping. So I'm taking a 5N1 bit, a fine grit one, and I'm working on the cuticle area with this. I'm trying to use it as parallel to the nail plate as I can and letting the drill bit do the work for me. I'm using this at a low speed of 4 to 5 RPMs. I also like to use this over the entire surface of the nail as well. It's great for just refining the shape all around, making sure the sides of the nail are not too thick, that we have a nice curvature to the nail. It's also great for cleaning under the nail if there's any excess product. And now we are moving on to hand filing. I'm using an 80/80 grit hand file and just seasoning the edges so I don't have anything too sharp. I've already hand filed the other 3 nails here and the thumb, so I just wanted to show you kind of the difference once you've hand filed versus haven't. I ended up making these nails a little bit skinnier, a little bit more closer to a stiletto, so I'll show you how I do that. I always start under the nail, under the sidewall. It's important that you don't angle your file too much. Try to use it parallel to the sidewall. Start at the free edge. For almond nails, this is okay. For square nails, you don't want to mess with the free edge too much underneath. But for almond nails, you can pretty much just file all the way underneath, even kind of going across both sides. It actually is really great for getting rid of extra product under there as well. But you just want to make sure it's nice and straight as far as the sidewalls go. And then filing against the sidewalls, in this case, filing at an angle is actually totally fine. The only thing that you want to make sure is that you are moving your file back and forth, meaning you're not just filing one side. I file a little bit on one side, I'll move to the other side, I'll keep analyzing. Otherwise, it's really easy to like file them crooked or uneven. So whatever you do to one side, just be sure to do it to the other. And then I'm just thinning out the free edge a little bit more, making it a little bit more pointy, a little bit more skinny. So the 80/80 grit hand file is really great for this. And then as I keep doing that, I'm gonna round out the free edge as well at the very end, just so that, you know, we keep that round shape. And finally, just so we have a smooth surface for the nail art, I'm using a fine grit sanding band over the entire surface of the nail. The goal of this is not to really take off product, but just smooth everything out. I also like to use a buffer with cuticle oil. This gives you that ultra polished, smooth finish. You just want to make sure you cleanse with alcohol, wash your hands. Just make sure that your hand, you don't like use a ton of soap or anything. You still want your nails to be like dry, kind of like we dehydrated the natural nail for nail prep. Similar thing here where you just want the nail surface to not have any oils and kind of be dehydrated. And as you can see, Desert Rose is definitely a really great base color. It's my personal favorite of our polygels. For the vampire design, very easy. We're going to be using Black Cat, which is our new cat eye gel from our Whimsy Halloween collection, also available individually. And then our Crimson Wash Jelly, which is a deep red jelly. This is from the Art Glass collection, but these two together are going to give you that vampy look. So we are starting with Black Cat, and sometimes you see this design done with a silver cat eye, but I think this smoky black cat eye actually gives you more of that kind of dark vampy look. It kind of gives it like a little bit of a more of an edgier look. So the first layer I demagnetized because then you don't have to do a black base underneath. It just makes the cat eye pop even more. I cured that, and then I'm doing a second layer, just working it towards the cuticle very carefully, kind of just very slowly just working my way up from underneath, trying to make the cat eye as smooth as possible before I take a round magnet like this. And we are going to pretty much hit it from all 4 angles, but at the top, I am pushing the cat eye more inwards because the goal is to have the effect kind of at the middle part, but you want some black to show around. That way, when you add the cat eye, it kind of has that dark border around it, and then that red part at the center will pop more. You'll see what I mean. So I'm taking the Crimson Wash Jelly. Again, this is from our Art Glass collection. All of these shades are available individually or as a part of a full collection, and we are applying this over the entire nail. You could do 1 coat, but I would recommend 2 thin layers if you want like a very vibrant red. And yeah, you pretty much just polish it over it and cure, and then add your top coat. And you can see what I mean by when you have kind of the black showing more at the edges, and I'll show you under the flash more too. It shows a little bit better. Now repeating that, 1 layer of black cat, a thin layer of that, pretty much over the entire nail. Don't worry about it being too perfect. We'll clean up the cuticle area later, but we're just gonna demagnetize that and cure so we have that kind of black, darker base. Now we are applying our second layer. This is where I try to clean up the cuticle area more. You can also use a small liner brush to clean up that area and make it a little bit neater. And now we're gonna use our magnet, all 4 corners. These cat eyes are seriously amazing. If you struggle with cat eye, check out our cat eyes from the Whimsy Halloween collection. They're super easy to work with. My favorite cat eyes I've ever used, so I use that around all 4 sides. Again, bringing a little bit more of that black at the top and bottom. Fully cured before I added Crimson Wash. I applied a full layer of that, cured, and did a second thin layer as well, just for it to really pop. That's pretty much it. You just cure and add your top coat. This is seriously like the perfect, simple, spooky season look. It looks great with any nail shape or length, and all you need is those 2 colors. So I hope you enjoyed it, and these products are all available on our website. Everything is in the description with a discount code. I ended up doing both hands, and I really love how it turned out. And as I mentioned, a Whimsy Halloween is available now individually and as a full collection. Thank you so much for watching.